What's up guys, Damian Keyes here. I don't know why I'm that enthusiastic. So yesterday, Taylor Swift announced on her blog that she is being honored at the American Music Awards for the Artist of the Decade award. Amazing, except Scooter Braun and Scott Borchetta have basically said that she cannot re-record her tracks to make a medley to perform it on that show. Effectively, it comes under the terms of breaking that contract. Also, at the same time, she is saying that they are blocking any music to go on an upcoming Netflix documentary about her life. Now, this is a big one and it affects you as an artist more than you think. So, what has happened? What can we learn? And more importantly, how does this feud affect you? Okay. Story time. So this is an age-old story where a record label signs young up-and-coming artist. Young up-and-coming artist soon takes over the world and is an international superstar, at which point making demands saying, I want my music back, you're making money off my music. Record label says, okay, but that's not going to happen, because they point to the clause in the contract which says, we made this record, therefore we own the rights to your music. At which point, international superstar throws toys out of the pram and all hell breaks loose. And the record label says there is an option past that, which is an earn back deal. Now, an earn back deal effectively says we will re-sign you, and for every album you make in the future, we will give you the rights to your past library, to one of your records. So you make a new one, you get one back. You make a new one, you get one back. Now for Taylor, who's been signed to the record label for 13 years, this would have taken 7 new records, and she was not up for that. Now this story is not a new story. In fact, this is the same thing that happened to Radiohead in 2007. I'm pretty sure it also happened to Queen, and I'm pretty sure it also happened to Pink Floyd. This is an age-old story of signing someone who gets massive and then feels like they're getting ripped off. So let's go back in time. The year is 2005 and a guy called Scott Borchetta signed a 15-year-old called Taylor Swift to his record label called Big Machine. Taylor Swift then went on to become an international superstar, selling 5 #1 albums and selling 40 million copies of her albums. However, earlier this year, Big Machine was sold to music mogul Scooter Braun. Now, in case you don't know, Scooter Braun was responsible for inflicting Justin Bieber upon us. Now, Taylor and Scooter have never seen eye to eye, mainly back due to when Kanye and Taylor were having their spat, and Taylor was saying that Scooter was bullying her. So this is an ongoing feud, and so Scooter buying Big Machine and therefore her back catalogue is like her arch nemesis buying her music. This goes past just having her music bought, it's also who it's been bought by. But for Scooter Braun, this was also a risk knowing the feud, because it's been reported that Big Machine's income is 80% made up of Taylor Swift's back catalogue. So when Scooter Braun bought Big Machine, he also bought the rights to the music, which means that Big Machine own all of the rights to the recorded music. It's theirs and they make money off that music. However, they don't own the publishing. That is owned by Taylor Swift herself, which means there's a little bit of a standoff. So right now, Taylor Swift wants to go and perform on the American Music Awards, and she wants to have this Netflix documentary made about her life. This is an amazing thing, amazing opportunity, and will open the door to more fans. But Scooter Braun and Big Machine have said, no, you can't do it because we own the music and we're not letting you. But just like the other way around, should Scooter Braun say, wow, I can get your music, I can get this music onto a massive brand advert, like for example, Coke or Pepsi or a huge brand, Taylor Swift has the right to say, no, it's intellectually my property and you can't use that without my permission. So there's a huge standoff with all of the old back catalogue of Taylor's music. Now, in November 2020, 1 year from now, Taylor Swift is allowed to re-record her old back catalogue, which could be big. It could be big money for Taylor, it could be bad news for Big Machine, or we might find that it doesn't make that much of a difference because the music that was made was a moment in time. It might be remade, but it might not have the same feel and the same magic of what once was when she was 15 or 16 or 17 years old. We might want to listen to the originals and not the new ones unless we are fully supporting Taylor Swift. Now here is where it gets interesting. Artists from both sides are wading into the debate, and Camila Cabello, is that right?
Camila Cabello.
Camila Cabello. But Camila Cabello.
Camila Cabello.
Camila Cabello. Camila Cabello. Camila Cabello. All right, I'm just going to say it fast. Camila Cabello. Now here's where it gets interesting. Camila Cabello. Now here's where it gets interesting. An artist from both sides. Camila Cabello, right. But Camila Cabello summed it up. Oh, I did really well that time. Now here's where it gets Camila Cabello. Now here's where it gets interesting because artists from both sides have waded into the debate. But Camila Cabello summed it up best when she said, "This is about whether artists should own their life's work." Ha ha! But should they? Because this is a partnership, and it could be argued that without the money and the support and the opportunities given to her by the label, there's an argument to say that we would never have heard of Taylor Swift in the first place. The label took all of the risk, whilst 15-year-old Taylor, she just went along for the ride. But Taylor has just signed to Republic Records, a massive label and a subsidiary of Universal Music Group. Also home to Ariana Grande and Drake and The Weeknd and Three Doors Down and Nicki Minaj and Jessie J and a bunch of other massive artists. But Taylor is the big one, and in signing to Universal, she has forced their hand to distribute Spotify stock sales amongst the artists. Now this is big news for all artists across the world, because what happens in the big labels usually starts to get filtered down to the medium and the small labels. And effectively, she is saying this is not just about me, this is about every band and every artist, and their streaming should be going to them as the songwriters and as the artists. This is something that Apple did not so long back, where they distributed their Spotify stock share and said, look, we're actually getting a big chunk of money from Spotify, and instead of keeping it, we're going to spread the wealth amongst these artists. But Universal weren't doing that until Taylor Swift came along and said, I will sign to you, and this is one of the provisos. So what can we learn from this? Well, should we feel sorry for Taylor Swift? Hell no! She's worth $360 million, and her last tour grossed $265 million. She is one of probably 5, maybe 10 artists in the entire world that can sell 1 million copies of a CD before it's even been released. Before it's even been released. But we should be thankful for her. Whether we like pop music and whether we like Taylor Swift, she is single-handedly taking your fight to the major labels, which will start to get filtered down. She is saying artists should get paid more fairly. And instead of saying this is about me, she's saying this is about us. And for that, we should applaud her. She is a pioneer, and she is now using the power she has, that she's gained, to help you as well as help herself. But the big moral of the story is, don't sign a contract and bitch about it later. If in business or in the music business, if you are going to get into bed with the devil, then be prepared to take a hot one in the bum at some point. Because once you are heavily involved in the music industry and selling music, or streaming music and selling merch, either way, this then becomes, from an industry point of view, about money first and art second. So where do you stand? This is a property war, and it's a property war between you and your art, but it can't come to life without someone else funding it with their time, their experience, and their money. So they should probably have some equity in this property. Do you not agree? So which side do you stand on? Taylor's music, she's the artist, she created. But these people over here, they put the money in and they gave her that opportunity. Which side do you stand on? So thanks for watching. If you can do me a favor, if you can like, more importantly, come and subscribe. Come and be a part of this community. Hit me up in the comments below. I read every single comment. I try and comment back to as many as possible. This community is growing and I'm so proud to watch you guys make music, create content, and I love being a part of it. So thanks for watching and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
The time slowed down when I was with you, when we made love like the last time, when those 3 words I heard from you, it froze my blood for eternity.